Ms. Secretary, would you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Thomas? Mr. Guidry?
Yes.
Mr. Gordon?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Fendel?
Yes.
Mr. Brookter?
Yes.
Mr. Ballantyne?
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Okay, did everyone get a copy of the minutes from our February 5th meeting?
Sir.
Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion.
All in favor?
We got a vote. We have a second?
Do we have a second?
I made the
Yes, Lewis, second.
Okay.
Okay, our first case is BOA case number 2018-1339 BOA was postponed from the February 5th meeting. Is a request by applicant in an A2 suburban zoning district for a variance to reduce the required front yard setback from 50 feet to 25 feet to allow for the construction of an attached garage to an existing single-family residence. The property is located at 123 North Dogwood Drive, Louisiana. The applicant and representative is JSB Dogwood LLC, John Bowers. The applicant has requested that this case be postponed again.
motion.
Do I have a motion to postpone? We have a motion to postpone. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor on the motion, please vote with your lights.
Motion carry.
Motion passes. Okay, our next case is BOA case 2019-1370 BOA, request by applicant in an A2 suburban district to increase the maximum allowable combined length of an accessory structure from 50 feet to 60 feet to allow for the construction of a 2,460 square foot accessory structure. The property is located at 61246 Highway 1091, Slidell, Louisiana. The applicant and representative is Johnny Klintz. The applicant, that's the wrong one. 1341 has been withdrawn. The applicant is requesting to increase the maximum allowable combined length of an accessory structure from 50 feet to 60 feet to allow for the construction of a 2,460 square foot accessory structure. Staff comments, please.
Although the request is not considered as a hardship, staff is not completely opposed to the request, considering that the accessory building will sit on a 1.32 acre parcel, and the proposed structure will be approximately 150 feet from the front and the rear property line and 20 feet from the southern property line. Also, the proposed structure does not exceed the 7.5% of the area of the property.
Is the applicant present? Would you please come forward and state your name and address for the records, please?
My name is John Klontz, C-L-O-N-T-Z.
Okay, I'm sorry, I had it, the spelling is wrong. I'm sorry, I mispronounced your name also. Mr. Kluntz, do you have anything further to add?
Well, I just wanted to say that this building was already there before. My wife bought the house in, like 2006. And, they had to put the building up. She was married to someone else back then, and, a few years later, when they got divorced, he came and took the building. She had a little cleanup that, it wasn't supposed to go anywhere, but he did pay for the building. But it's on her property, and she did have a cleanup covering her. The only action was to go after him and, put him in jail for theft or something like that. We just want to build the building back. We've spent over $1,000 already getting this far just with the parish. And we've got a contractor to build a beautiful building, and,
It's just the slab's already there.
the slab's there notched out for the doors, for that exact size building that was there. For us to change the size of it, we're gonna have to bust up slab and have it hauled off and re-pour where it's notched out for the doors, and the building has to lap the side of the concrete 2 inches. Concrete's already there. It was just, and there's underground piping and all underneath it, it's already done. we've got a big boat that's getting ruined out in the rain and the sun down here in Louisiana.
Do we have any questions from anyone on the board? Mr.
One last thing, it's way more than 20 feet from the back of the property. She's got a big piece of property. Probably
We were talking about the 20 feet from the side.
from the side,
Yeah.
yeah, it is, definitely.
Mr. Ballantyne?
Yes, sir, Mr. Thomas, are there any problem with anybody opposing this, your neighbors, or is there a
The building
homeowners
is already there.
association or
No,
anything?
we're good friends with the man that, runs the HOA of that neighborhood, and the next door neighbor on the other side is who she bought the house from all those years ago. I mean, no, nobody's opposing it. The sign's been out there in the yard, but I don't think anybody's gonna oppose us putting our garage back up. I'm not building a workshop to beat the ground. Nobody's gonna haul my stuff in.
Mr. Gordon?
So, excuse me, the building was, when was the original building put up?
2006?
Okay, well, then I have a question for staff. What happened with, that it met requirements in 2006, but not now?
Well, because
Or was the building put up?
Is the microphone?
I'll get it on.
they didn't have that back then, I guess.
That's what I'm asking staff.
Excuse me?
Were regulations changed for size of accessory structures? Or how did this go through in 2006 and it's not allowed now?
If I'm not mistaken, in 2006, it was zoned suburban agricultural.
Okay, so
That's
back
the-
then it was all right to have that building?
I think so, that's the reason.
All
yeah.
right,
That's
so
what I researched.
my next question is for staff. Why is it, because you know this is a pet peeve of mine, why is it when staff's okay with something, they don't put in the granting of such variance may result in the establishment of a precedent in the parish?
Because as it says here, we're not completely opposed. As I stated, it's not necessarily a hardship, but we're not completely opposed.
Could it
because-
potentially set a precedent in the parish?
It could. However, many of those buildings have been approved in a parish, in many different areas of the parish. And it does not exceed the 7.5%. It just exceed the length.
Thank you.
Does anyone else, any other questions of the applicant? Can I entertain a motion? Okay, Mr. Gordon,
Motion approved.
is there a second?
Second,
Mrs. Snyder, I see you wanted to say something, or?
either making it
Oh,
or second.
okay. We have a motion on the floor and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Secretary, would everyone please vote with the lights, please?
Motion pass.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last case is BOA case 2019-1374 BOA, request by applicant in an HC2 Highway Commercial District for a waiver of the requirement to preserve all existing trees over 6 inches in caliber within the buffers and all live oak and cypress trees due to issues on the site relative to elevation and a need to add fill to meet the parish requirements. The property is located at 2316 Gauze Boulevard East, Slidell, Louisiana. The applicant is Gary Dragon. The representative is Sean Burks. The applicant is requesting a waiver of the requirement to preserve all existing trees over 6 inches in caliber within the buffers and all live oak and cypress trees due to issues on the site relative to elevation and need to add fill to meet parish requirements. Staff comments, please.
The site in question is approximately 2 to 3 feet lower than the surrounding parcels and would need to several feet of fill to meet the parish requirements. The existing trees on the site are mainly small pine trees that have grown up in the past 10 years. Staff feels that the existing grades and low significance of the trees on this specific site warrant consideration of the variance. However, please note that the approval of the requested variance by the board will not include allowance for the placement of the fill on the site. If the variance is granted, the applicant will have to meet all planning and engineering requirements.
Is the applicant or representative present, please?
Yes, hello, my name is Sean Burks. I'm with JV Burks and Associates. We're the engineers for the project doing the drainage work.
Mr. Burks, I don't know, did you give the address? We need your address for the record.
I'm sorry. My address with JV Burks and Associates is 1805 Shortcut Highway, Slidell, Louisiana, 70458.
Thank you.
Thank you. This site is located along East Gauze, and this is basically the last remaining parcel to be constructed on this side of East Gauze from Crossgates Boulevard to Military Road. The sites, that whole piece of property, way back when was part of a pine tree. It was farmed for pine trees. Everything around it has been filled, and this is like a bowl that's left over. Gauze is at like an 11-foot elevation. The concrete surrounding the property is around 11 feet, but the ground elevation's around 9 feet or so in the middle of the property. So in order to put the building up and then to slope it down to the requirements, we're gonna end up filling in the majority of the site in order so that it doesn't hold water. And we currently have a drainage review going on right now with the parish. And we're hoping to be able to do off-site fill mitigation for this site. What I can say is that the pine trees that are there, in a lot of cases, 2-inch, 3-inch pine trees, some a little bit larger right around the edges. The adjacent neighbor has some beautiful live oak trees, but it's not on this piece of property. And we have a proposed landscape plan where we're thinking planting new trees would probably have a little bit better look than leaving the existing tall, skinny, little small diameter pine trees there. So anyway, if y'all have any questions,
Yeah,
I'll be
just a
happy.
second. I see there's a few people want to have some questions. Mr. Gordon?
Hey, Sean, is that right next to Devereaux's office?
Yes, yes. It's right on the corner of Crossgates Boulevard. You have the first, was it the dentist office right there? Is that Devereaux? I believe that's Devereaux.
No, Devereaux's second one, the green roof.
Okay, this is between Devereaux and it's
Okay.
the one vacant building right there.
I got it, thanks.
Mr. Valentine?
Yes, sir, two things. Number one, you understand you still have to, get approval from the parish, do the fill. Is there any, an engineering approval and all the other permits, any problem with that? You understand that?
Yes, so we understand that basically this site's dead if we can't put fill on it. And it's dead for anybody. So it's, we feel we have a good case, but we know we have to meet those requirements wherever they may be.
Number two thing, is you mentioned just now that you have a landscape plan, and I would ask if you haven't done so, whether that you would submit that to the parish, for review and approval also.
We have submitted that to them already.
Excellent, I'm done.
Have any other questions from anybody on the board? Mr. Gordon?
Yeah, I'm very familiar with this area. In fact, I built the buildings right next door. It's a problem spot, and I make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, would everyone please vote with the lights?
Motion carried.
Thank you.
That concludes all our cases for today. Old business, Mr. Tom, I know you got a year older a week ago.
No, no old business.
So no one's catching up with you. Any new business? Helen?
2 new cases for next month.
What's the date?
The date, next meeting will be,
April 2nd.
April, that's right, April 2nd. All right. Adjourn? Motion to adjourn? So moved?